So I don't know. We'll see. Again, like we are literally figuring this out with you guys in real time, so it should be fun. That being
Yeah,
said,
this should be
party
fun.
time.
All right. So something I want to highlight while Dom is gone, I guess I'll share my screen. So
Go for it.
since we don't have access to his screen, and I'll share it there. Boom. Golly, hitting refresh, refresh, refresh. Um, so I'll probably put out a post about this later on. I'll write a thread just kind of detailing all of this. Mark, GM, what's up, bro? Buying bags for Evelyn seems better tokenomics than this. That's crazy. Um, but yeah, so back to this standard. One thing that I'm kind of looking at, right? Like obviously the debt structuring is that's like the so the understanding that I have, 5% of tokens are traded on the open market, 5% of tokens are available for project growth, and then 90% is locked for 3 months and can't be touched. So essentially these companies will have to buy this debt back, right? What I'm thinking is when they actually have a liquidity event and they buy back these tokens at whatever price they choose to, um, I wonder what they'll do. Like, I wonder how the game theory would work, right? Like, what if a company says, like, what if SOAR kind of creates this mechanism where you can kind of exchange your tokens for straight up USDC, if maybe it's done that way. Yes, you're right, Mob. It should go to holders. But here's the thing, probably for legal purposes, they have to put this tagline in here that says SOAR may choose what it wants to do with the money. So I'm assuming, there's going to be, I would love to see some sort of like permissionless, trustless infrastructure to facilitate this. So maybe they put this in a decision market, right? Like, maybe they leave it up to the community to decide on. Maybe that's a way they can do it. But yeah, ultimately, I think they'll find a way to bring value back to holders. Um, Outside of that, I think when it comes to a SOAR token, because they said SOAR's ecosystem depends on benefiting holders, SOAR will do its best to always benefit holders, and I think that is very, very, very important. In fact, I'm going to share with you guys a post that I did the other day that kind of talks about something that I've been thinking about quite a bit.
And with that
Uh,
statement too, like we've
mhm.
talked about being fraudulent in the space, they have to make a good faith effort to uphold that statement. Otherwise, it is fraudulent, right? And they know that as a team. So I think they're leaning into that quite a bit.
So I put this post out the other day, and I think that was a good take there, Dom. I put this post out the other day that talked about if projects need launch pads, right? Ideally, I don't think projects need launch pads, right? If you're a good project, like you are actually coming in here and doing something great. You have good tokenomics, good utility. There's nothing shady going on. The team seems impressive. You don't absolutely need a launch pad, but here's the caveat that I shared. We live in a post pump fund on chain environment. The dynamics on chain were changed forever after the pump fund launch. While good projects don't need launch pads, the odds are in their favor if they do choose to use the launch pad in this new environment. Because we've seen on Believe that, great projects have sat below 100K. We're talking projects that, outshine anything that we've seen in the past several years. An easy example would be like Adira, for example, like huge company. Viva, for example, multi-billion-dollar company. These are bigger than probably most projects that have launched in crypto, right? Yet they sat at super low valuations for months, which says the market shows it will ignore good fundamentals. The market clearly shows that it will completely ignore what you got going on, no matter how good. But when attention rotates to ICM and Believe, those projects kind of took off, and Dom has wrote a lot about that. But here's the kicker. Here's the part. Launch pads like Pump Fund attract traders, which give projects the attention they deserve. Established launch pads help projects bootstrap community, attention, and just motion on the timeline. You know, what they do with that is up to them. But if they're a good team, likely this leads to, you know, some really nice price action. Take Ace for example. Ace sat below 100K. And now, you know, with the speculation is anyway, they can get anywhere from, you know, they could get millions of transactions per month in X402, in the X402 protocol, right? So it's like the market has shown it will ignore fundamentals. And I think while you might not need a launch pad, you know, what I said was, you know, the straightest path to success is through a launch pad. And I think that's very important for all of us to recognize. Let me do a quick refresh on the SOAR. I heard my trenches Padre terminal go off, and we're good to go. Now, at the end of the day, this, you know, what it boils down to is incentives. And I think this is something that, again, going back to the SOAR white paper, right? Going back to the SOAR white paper, it just says SOAR will do its best to always benefit holders. And that goes in conjunction with exactly what I said here. I said at the end of the day, it all boils down to incentives. Rewrite holder incentives, and you rewrite your future. This also goes for the platform token. I don't think just buybacks will be enough. Ideally, a platform with no token to start will be ideal. And there's always going to be, like, you know, a risk of you know, price action going up and down. It's crypto. It's always going to be volatile. But if you give holders an incentive to hold, they will, is what I meant to say here. And but right now the market has incentivized rotation, and launch pads incentivize more trading. They incentivize rotation because launch pads accrue value from trading fees. But people like Believe have reminded us that with the belief scores, you can change the incentives. You can incentivize people to hold. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out. And I
Show me
think
the incentives, I'll show you the outcome.
there you go. There you go. Rambo in the comments. What's going on, bro? GM Morgo. Yeah, GM Morgo.
GM Morgo.
G SOAR, Rambo. G SOAR. Right back at you.
Yeah, G SOAR.
Sweet,
Top
guys.
fumbler. Tom coming on stream in 5 minutes. Actually any minute. You know, she should be here any second. We got them coming on at 3 p.m. So
yeah, we're rolling here. Tom is about to hop on, so yeah, cannot wait for Redacted. Yes, me as well.
And I saw somebody in the comment section, they wanted to ask about fees. So I wanted to show real quick the launch on SOAR website. So let me do that real quick. Bam. So
Pangu, to confirm, MCG is not launching a token.
We are not.
MCG is not launching a token.
We are not. We promise you. If there is one out there, it's not ours. Don't get scammed. Be safe. And then also see our tweet that we just put out claiming that, saying that we, you know, aren't launching a token, because we're not. Okay. Beyond that, Jason said, yet this guy. But Mob, is there fees on token swaps? Let me show you the website. Let me see what the website says here, because they have like an FAQ section all the way at the bottom. How are fees distributed? 50% to projects, 50% to SOAR, and SOAR charges up to 2% on all transactions. So that's what the website says there. And maybe we can get further clarification when Tom comes on. I heard Mint is behind the toilet token. Josh, are you behind the toilet token?
Fake news.
Nah,
Fake
that's
news.
Dom, bro. Dom just went to the
Maybe I just went to TP and then
okay, let's keep it focused. What was Tom's tweet? Just in terms of he mentioned on his X account about
He just
Think of
mentioned that he was coming on live
Okay.
with us in a few minutes.
Okay,
Per
cool.
flex, minimum $20 withdrawal. Well, so here's the thing, guys. Like the $20 withdrawal from the platform, 2% is crazy. They said up to 2%. So maybe we can clarify that with Tom when he comes on. But the minimum $20 withdrawal fee. So all you need to do to avoid the minimum $20 withdrawal is to export your wallet to like something like Phantom, and then just send it as a transfer to your wallet of choice, because you have the like what's you have a wallet built into the SOAR platform, but you can export that. I'm assuming that they're probably covering gas fees, so they don't want a ton of like little micro transactions to be sent out and for them to accrue a ton of gas fees. So I think that's the idea. Um, that's the idea behind it. But why put that restriction there? Well, the gas fees, just going back to the gas fees, Jason. If we're like sending out, little microtransactions to wallets, they could end up paying more gas fees than they need to. So I would think they would need to if they're covering our gas fees, they'd need to put like some stipulation on there.
Yeah, it's just like an anti-spam thing.
Yeah,
And
just
I mean,
limit.
2%. We'll see the fee structure. We'll ask Tom about that, but they are running a business here, and they do gotta pay for stuff. So
OX Research, is the project launching on stream with you guys tomorrow, 7th of November? I am confused because it's 3 p.m. here. Yeah, it's 3 p.m. for us as well. I don't know when the project's launching. We don't know. We're literally here trying to figure it out with you guys. I'm literally refreshing the SOAR platform like every couple of minutes just to make sure that I can keep up for whenever it launches. So I don't know when it launched. Simple answer.
yeah. And Tom is coming on. We're just kind of running little pre-show before Tom comes. So
yeah, we're just answering a ton of you guys' questions right now. Yeah, no problem. Research anytime. Dreezy, is there a verified token launching today on SOAR? Well, I'll let them answer that for you guys. As
yeah.
we can see here, big day in the comment section. Actually, someone had asked that question. They asked that exact question of when launch or something like that, or is launch happening today? And they actually responded, and they said, and they confirmed. So let me track that tweet down for you guys.
Wait. The SOAR team confirmed this?
Yep, right here. Here's the tweet. I got them on tracker. I got them on the tracker, fellas. Bang, here we go. So under the original announcement tweet, someone asked, will the first curated launch be today, or should we expect it sometime in the near future? SOAR confirmed today. I like that.
And on the SOAR platform, if you go to explore at the top left, go to curated projects. And my guess is to sit on that page, just so you're not seeing all the other stuff come through that they've had.
Let me give you guys some alpha. If you don't know how to play this SOAR launch, or you want to know how we're playing the SOAR launch, rewind to the beginning of the stream at about an hour in. Myself and Dom mostly Dom, he kind of explains how to this guy,
Position.
he explains how to position and prepare for this launch. So definitely want to rewind, check that out. TLDR, go on the platform, stalk the Twitter pages.
3K views. How are you all this early? Well, we've actually been streaming for 2.5 hours already. SOAR is just one part of our programming today, but we had Meteorite Collective on earlier and just focused on some market stuff as well. Should be launching in the next hour. I mean, yes, we'll definitely find out from Tom. I mean, we can press him here on stream, so we'll see what he comes up with for sure.
We can try to squeeze alpha out for you guys, but I'm not gonna lie, we've pressed Tom on this stream this week already. So
Tom came out with a lot of alpha yesterday. If you went and listened to a lot of what he was talking about, he talked about the launch mechanics and some other things about how the launch would work. So we did play that pre-show in the second half of our pre-show. First was Umbra, and then the second half of that pre-show. So if you're listening now or just catching out, go back and watch that if you want more info.
So there you go. There you go. So what else? What else? So I wanted to
Do
go
they
back
have
to this real
swap
quick.
fees like Believe Fees does?
Yeah, 2%. Up
Oh,
to
shout out
2%.
Ryan. Yo, your homie Ryan here, Dom, is in
Bro,
chat.
whoa.
Oh, Ryan Babel, let's go.
Yeah, Ryan Babel's here.
My
Welcome,
guy.
Ryan.
I saw you message me on TG. I got to get back to you.
Is the SOAR team docs? Yes, actually, Tom, who's leading it, is a really well-respected lawyer and yes, person, I guess, in the space. Been contributor to ICM. Yeah, I mean, what else can I say? He's spoken twice on our show.
Man, Ryan Babel's on here. That's
Man, we're big time.
dude, that's kind of crazy. Yo,
Yeah.
welcome to the stream. Appreciate you. I mean, just in case you guys,
4 a.m. here, didn't sleep for the alpha. Look, guys, ICM is a global movement. Think of the capital markets in the US, which is like 60% market share for the US, but now capital markets on Solana and ICM is a global phenomenon. You can participate in funding innovative startups, finding, ideally the next big thing. There are startups that will fail, but some will succeed. And again, it's like you want to own the next Minecraft or the next defense company or the next drone company or whatever it is, you want to own it early, because those types of investments have only been for a certain class of investor historically. So that's what we definitely believe in here.
And I think that's really exemplified by what SOAR is doing here. Like again, my thesis for SOAR is that they're essentially connecting, if you want to even call it just the trenches, right? But like the ICM trenches with real valuable, unicorn level Web2 companies. So yeah, I'm actually a little sneak peek here. I'm actually writing a thread on SOAR, and I'm not completely done with it. But that's kind of like the core of the thesis that I mentioned in this thread, and I'm probably going to end up posting something later, so you guys can look out for that. One thing I wanted to point out, though, they said that SOAR may choose to use the money SOAR may choose what it wants to do with the money that they receive when companies pay off that debt with SOAR. And they mentioned a few examples here, right? Like they mentioned things can go to airdrops, redemptions, inject directly into the chart, buy tokens, distribute equivalent or portion in other tokens. Like there's a ton of things that they can end up doing. Guys, lock in, curate it, lock
Here
in.
we go.
Here we go.
How do we
We
buy
do
this
have
thing?
Tom here.
We have Tom here. Tom, bro. Holy moly. What a day for you.
Bro, gentlemen, how are you?
Good.
I'm
Good.
sweaty.
Try
My
this
hands
here.
are sweaty. My leg is bleeding out. I hurt myself last night, so we're having a pretty wild day.
Well,
okay,
Tom,
real quick, scrambling to buy this thing. How do you buy this?
App, or it should work on Juke as well, aggregators now.
I see.
man,
Yeah,
this
there we
thing is
go.
not like this thing is flying. This thing's at 15 mil already, and it's only been 3 minutes since launch.
All right, GM, let's do it.
Tom, bro, how's it going? Welcome.
What have you unleashed on the world here, Tom? Talk to us.
So, yeah, let me collect my thoughts for a second here. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Take a
little
moment.
bit out of sorts. So just to give some background, I can't do a post op on the launch yet. I don't know anything. I'm not even looking at it, but we put a lot of work into thinking about how to get this out as clean as possible. I'm hopeful that some of the things and the tactics we use worked. If not, we will iterate a little bit. First and foremost. So points of failure were very minimal. The second part of that is we've been working with this team for approximately 2 months, I believe, on this curated launch. I think our team has spent no less than 100 hours working with them to get everything ready, make sure that everything was lined up, make sure that the product is the point where we felt like we could curate this launch. We're very passionate that this is an opportunity that the company is early stage, but they have an incredible product, an incredible idea, very, very passionate about what they're doing. And they also have the expertise as well, which you'll see in a few minutes here.
Sweet. Do we want to just bring them up and get into it?
Yeah.
I
Let's
think
do
this
it.
is their website here. Impulsor. It looks like Impulsor is the curated launch you guys have been hiding from us. It's live now. Where can we buy it? It looks like the website is bugging a bit. So maybe just through Jupiter.
Yeah, Jupe Ag, or the website probably is getting overloaded a little bit, but it should work on the website. It might just be slippage issues, depending on how volatile it is.
Okay. Sweet. All right. Well, let's get into it because we got them up there. We got the team from Impulsor here. Patrick, Roman, how's it going, guys? This is an exciting day.
Exciting to be here, guys. Good to see everyone. And shout out to Ryan. Hi, Ryan.
Let's go. So, dude, we're going to jump right into it, you guys. This is the first curated launch from our friends at SOAR. You guys are number one. You've been talking forever. Maybe give us a quick background of how you guys met in the first place and why you guys chose to do this debt structuring platform and launch with SOAR.
We met the founding team of SOAR, Tom, Sean, and John through some common friends. I was asked to look into the company, really like the team. I think the business model, what they're trying to do is phenomenal. I think everyone's been trying to unlock this Web 2 to Web 3 bridge for a long time. I've been in TradFi for almost 30 years now. I've been in crypto for like 10 years. So I understand both sides from trad and crypto. So everyone's doing a launchpad, everyone does ICM. I like the team a lot. I think SOAR is definitely doing something very unique and different to what other people are doing through this debt structure. It's very attractive to founders that you can get access to capital, not get diluted. From my standpoint is we're allowing like the normal guy in the street access to the best deals at an early stage. You don't want to get $100 billion, $1 trillion valuation from AI, open AI. By the time we hear about it, it's too late for us to make any money.
Absolutely. We're totally aligned with that vision, and we're glad we could get maybe an early piece in the next generation of trillion-dollar companies. But tell us a bit about what you guys are working on with Impulsor here.
And did Roman introduce himself? Maybe you can.
Let Patrick and Roman introduce real quick too. I think
Sure.
you'll want
Okay.
to see that background.
So thank you everyone for allowing us some time to talk about this. We're super excited with Tom. We've been working with the team for like 2-3 months now, and finally, the big day is here. So we're very excited to share with you. So my name is Patrick Sang. I'm the co-founder and executive chairman of Impulsor. We'll talk about what Impulsor does. Obviously, it's a tech company. I've been in finance for almost 30 years now. I run my own family office out of Hong Kong. One of my big wins during COVID or in my career is I listed Fubo TV in 2020 in the New York Stock Exchange for $2.5 billion. That was the biggest IPO of the year. And then also the meme stock Wall Street Bet guys followed the stock. We drove it from 2.5 million to almost $10 billion. So that's the kind of where we're at. And I'm really excited to share with today. Like this is like the next big winner. And I want to introduce you to my colleague, Roman Park, who's also a co-founder, and he's the head of product.
Yeah, hi guys. So super happy to be here as well. Roman Park. I'm head of product for Impulsor. I've taken so many companies from idea to global commerce. And yeah, I'm happy to answer any technical questions that you may have about our products. One thing though, I can't hear half of you. I can only hear Patrick at the moment, and I think I can hear Tom as well. So if Patrick can fill me in, that would be great.
Sure. Okay.
Maybe, and Roman, if you want to maybe drop and rejoin for a sec, that might fix the audio bug. Or Patrick, you're going to have to tell him that, I guess.
Yeah, sorry. Can you try and rejoin, Roman?
Yeah, I'm going to try to rejoin. Yeah.
Log out and come back. And
Sweet.
then, should we continue?
Yeah.
Let's do
Okay,
it.
so what is Impulsor? Impulsor is a tech company. We basically have exclusive proprietary Swiss technology, and we have a thing called contactless power transfer. I'm going to call CPT from now on throughout the interview. And what is CPT? It's both for industrial and consumer uses. In layman's term, we're basically driving energy through the air. Our goal and mission is to democratize energy. We want access of power and energy to everyone. So launching it on such a platform will get people a chance to have a chance of investing into the company.
Can you maybe
Got it,
explain
got
that a bit more, the energy side and what
Sure.
you guys do exactly?
Sure. So CPT, in again layman's term, is energy transfer without cables and all the physical contact. I'll let Roman. Roman, can you hear us now?
I can now hear everyone, so that's good.
Perfect. So, Roman, I just introduced what Impulsor is, what CPT
Yeah.
is. I'll love you as from a technical whiz kid to tell everyone what CPT is.
Yeah. So I guess everyone here is familiar with wireless power transfer, like say an induction pad, right? So you put your phone onto the induction pad and it charges your phone, right? So contactless power transfer is something that we coined to better describe what we do because it hasn't really existed before. So basically, we are able to transmit energy through the air, underwater even, without the need for wires, without the need for cables, no surfaces, no charging pads, nothing. Just power on demand, power unbound. That's what we do.
How? This is like a childhood sci-fi dream.
Yeah,
so
no,
I
it
have
is.
to ask
It is.
how.
It is absolutely. So we have three pillars that we have. Three main pillars that we've been developing. So one of them is using RF, radio frequency. So you have a transmitter, you have a receiver. We take the electrical energy, convert them to RF waves. They travel to the receiver, they get converted back to electricity. And using that method, particularly, you're able to power IoT devices, smart sensors. And don't underestimate the size of that market. It's absolutely enormous. Then on top of that, I think my personal favorite is our optical CPT solution, whereby we take a high energy laser, we beam it out to as far as you want, and then it impacts our receiver that's mounted on a drone, on a helicopter, on a plane, whatever you want, and you can transmit unbelievable power to that. Now, then one of the other cool things I can show you today, Patrick, shall I?
So let me just butt in there. So Josh, I can
Yeah.
see your face being quite excited. We've been holding our energy, and Tom's been like not sleeping talking about this. But what we have something very special for you in the audience right now is, as we prepared in the kitchen, we have a live demo that we would like to show to you in the audience. So Roman, take it away.
Yeah, so I have what we call powered living, which is my table here, and I've embedded into this table a generator, and we have a charging field around here. And here we go. So this is just a coaster, but you can imagine this can power whatever you want: computer, phone, keyboard, anything. And you can see that it works not like induction, whereby you have to place it in a particular spot and align it. No, this works everywhere. So there's like a charging field, and you can see that it can work pretty much anywhere. We're in very much a controlled situation here. It's CE approved, and yeah, it's very exciting. So this is a coaster, but we can do something much cooler than that.
No, take it to the
Here
window.
we have a disassembled drone with its battery removed, and when it enters the field, charging field, it starts to operate. I don't know. Can you guys see that?
Yes, we can
We can see it, but Roman,
Right,
before
so
you
let me
Roman,
get
can
this
you hear
coaster
me?
here a bit.
Roman,
I don't
can
think
see
Roman can hear you.
it's-
Oh,
Roman,
he can't hear me.
And so
Hey,
this
Roman, can you hear me? Okay?
Yeah, I can hear you guys better now.
Real
But you
quick,
cannot
ask
hear
us
me,
one-
right?
Patrick wanted you to take it to the window.
The
I-
glass,
Take it to the window.
the
Okay,
coaster.
this
The
is
coaster.
a bunch of wires now
No, the
because I've
coaster, the
disassembled
coaster,
it.
the
I'm gonna
coaster.
take the coaster to the window because I'm gonna drop that. And if you go to the window, you see there the field stops there and it comes back. There we go. And
That's awesome.
so, yeah, you guys hear me fine?
Yep, we can hear you. We can hear you perfect.
And yeah, so this powering a drone, all four motors, no battery, shows just how much energy just a table surface generator can make, and you can see just how far the field reaches. You can put as many devices as you want in here, and yeah, we're extremely excited to deploy this stuff.
Wow, that's
Sorry, turn it
awesome.
off.
So, one question that I had for you, I mean, talk us through some use cases, some kind of broader use cases, maybe ones that you're most excited about that you can use this type of technology for.
Yeah,
Sure,
so Patrick, maybe I can do the
yeah.
first one and you can do the second
Yeah,
one here.
go ahead.
My favorite use case for sure is powering drones or aerospace at extreme range using our laser CPT system. We obviously don't have that here, but you can beam energy, kilometers out to a drone, and that enables it to remain operational for much longer than what it can do now. Drones now are operating for 10, 20 minutes. With our tech, you can make it operate near indefinitely.
Got it. And I know, Patrick, you also wanted to comment on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that stuff is kind of like, as Josh said, this is like sci-fi we're bringing to reality. They obviously robotics, drones, AI, consumer goods are kind of like the retail stuff. But what's even like bigger than that is industrial use. Imagine the Amazon warehouses, the autonomous kind of robots that are used, logistics, warehouses, aerospace, even space and infrastructure. For example, a government which doesn't have the money to install all the underwater cables and so forth, we can actually cut through all that. So a lot of infrastructure projects can be used, and this will not only just be for profit, but also there's a lot of non-profit uses that can be used for this. So we're very excited to bring this to everyone.
And I guess one of the questions I wanted to get to was just kind of, what's the offering to clients? I want to get a sense of competition. So there's a few kind of aspects here that we want to work through. But first, quick question. You just mentioned space. So you're saying you can beam energy to space and get it across the world. Did I hear that correctly?
No, I wouldn't go as far as to say that. That is absolutely possible. I think the money needed for the space will be much huger. I think that would be something that we would undertake at a later stage. But I think in the beginning,
guys, I'm sorry to interrupt. I can't hear Patrick. So if Patrick said, I don't know, I can't hear one, then I can't hear the other. So if you need anything, just let me ask. Yeah.
I think it's a bug, so we'll make sure to kind of cue you in on when.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, we'll cue you in, Roman.
Got you.
I was just saying, as I was saying, the space is a bit further down the line. That's going to take a lot more, capital. I think we will start off with industrial cases that we will get a lot of pre-sales and sales orders, and then on top of that is the consumer goods that will help give the brand name that people will know about. If you've seen, obviously, there's a lot of new products recently of pre-sales of humanoid robots. That's kind of become a bit more sexy. So that's something that we will look at. And obviously drones for both emergency and kind of like rescue kind of like things would be very useful for all kinds of governments and organizations.
So I guess another question that I had, maybe it might be good for us to zoom out for a quick second and just talk about the market. I don't think this is a market sector that any of us really are familiar with. Can you talk to us a little bit about, kind of where you see this going as far as who do you see can use this? Is it just governments? Is it just, is it like, are there individuals that would use this? Like, can you kind of tell us a little bit about the market, the competition that you guys are facing as well? And so we can kind of get an accurate sense of how big of a venture this is. And maybe, Roman can start, and then Patrick, you can continue with comments.
Sure.
All right, thanks. Yeah, I can hear you guys. So the market's absolutely enormous. I mean, power defines civilization. Civilization defines power. Just about everything we use relies on power. We have solutions to literally like problem solve just about every usage of power, whether that's energy grid, whether that's powering a smart sensor, consumer product. It's literally, it's all possible right now. What sort of market what sort of competition we're facing? There's a couple of companies who are deploying, let's say, low power CPT systems, so like powering on like a sensor and stuff, but no one's doing the big stuff yet. So we are super excited. We actually have our first orders coming in, and we're very excited to fulfill them.
Awesome. And Patrick, please.
I'm obviously the capital markets guy. Roman's obviously the tech guy. We also have some professors and doctors working in a few Swiss universities who are working with us. So we've kind of like bootstrap funded the company up to now. And one of the things is that one of the big use cases, in my opinion, is industrial and government. But to your point about individual uses, there will be a lot of products that we will bring to the market, which will be smart living. If you look at the general, like for example, MagRes, like power bank chargers where there's no wires, you charge your iPhone, that you have to place in a specific spot before it charges. Basically, what will happen is as soon as you enter into a range, let's say into a Starbucks, all your devices could be charging, or you could make use of the energy transfer, and it could help with a lot of things which, you know, together with like solar power and different things, this could all be like cyclical and then ends up having a big ESG angle as well. So we're going to try and take this company public at some point. I don't know the exact time frame, but that's the aim at some point. So this will be a huge opportunity for everyone.
Wow. So you have plans to go public. You're going after a huge market. And then you mentioned that industrial is your kind of your big area of focus right now, something that you feel like has potential. Patrick, just tell me a little bit about why that is, and you know, if there's any progress that you guys have made thus far. I think Roman mentioned that you guys already have some traction, so I'm not sure if that's toward that end.
Yes, so I would say industrial is very simple. If you're looking at governments or big companies, Fortune 500 type companies, they were going to have the budget and the capital to be able to pay for this kind of technology. Obviously, it might be quite expensive at the beginning for consumer goods. So that's why, from my point of view, from a finance standpoint, I would focus a lot more on the industrial side, for that the company is very profitable, so that we'd actually have more time and resources to do more R&D for the consumer side. So that's why it'll be a combination of both.
And real quick, Roman, anything that you wanted to add on that? I just wanted to make sure before Dom asked this next question.
I mean, I didn't catch any. I can't hear Patrick at all.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Any comments that you had in regards to the kind of industrial side? I know you're more dealing with technology. Just kind of wanted to see if you had any input from that question.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many opportunities, and we do have a super entrepreneurial team. So the number of opportunities just keeps growing. We have so many things in the pipeline. I can't say too much right now. We have a phenomenal communications team, and I wouldn't want to. Yeah, I want to stick to their plan, but we have a lot in the pipeline. Yeah.
Got it. And I know, Dom, you had a question.
Yeah, when it comes to making money, I'm sure you guys have a big focus on government contracts. Maybe can you give us some more information on how you're going about securing those, or if you have any at this moment in time?
Sure. Obviously, Roman and the bulk of the team is in Switzerland. I spend my time between Hong Kong, London, Abu Dhabi, and New York. So I also do some work for a lot of the British government and the Hong Kong government, where we do a lot of trades also with the Middle East. So we already have a very good network of government inroads And in Switzerland, from an academia standpoint, or Swiss and the EU, we have all the right contacts. So we have enough to chew on right now to get the right contracts before we actually hire more people from a sales team standpoint to help us get even more contracts. And we need to build out the team.
You said you guys are mostly bootstrapped, and I think I remember Tom on our call from a couple days ago said you were introduced through a fund that manages like 6 billion or 6 billion AUM. I can't remember the exact number, but do you guys have anyone else backing you at the moment? What does your funding look like?
No, it's just been us internally. So we've been funding it so far, and all the professor guys have been putting in sweat equity, but basically it's been funded by the founders so far.
Can you also touch on that experience with taking companies public in the past and how that's going to hopefully translate to doing the same with this project?
Sure. I mean, I've been investing and listing companies for 20 plus years now. I'll give you a quick 2-minute what happened in Fubo. So when I first invested in the first company, it was actually called Pulse Evolution. This was in 2018. The guy in charge was John Texter. And John was a serial entrepreneur. He had did a lot of animation, including Transformers, Avengers, Pirates of the Caribbean. They even were the team that did the animation for The Curious Case of Benjamin Button when Brad Pitt turned from an old guy into a young guy. It was 170 minutes long, the movie. The first 85 minutes, if I remember, is an old Brad Pitt, and people think it's makeup. And actually, the team actually won Best Oscar for Best Makeup in that year. But actually, it was all AI, right? So anyway, they were the team that did the Tupac and the Michael Jackson hologram. I saw the hologram video of Michael Jackson. We had the shareholders at the beginning was Tencent, the Lego family from Denmark, the Michael Jackson family estate, James Dean family estate, Marilyn Monroe estate. And I saw a story where we can take this and turn this global. At the time, he wanted to really do this Michael Jackson show on Vegas or Broadway. Anyway, we put in about $3 million at a 30 million valuation. This is in 2019. We bought facebank.com from Elon and his partners for $600,000. We rebranded the company calling Facebank Group. We wanted to scan people's faces and protect people's assets by the blockchain that Google and so for all these, Apple don't own your assets of the digital data. Actually, you own it. And when you need to use it, you give to these companies. 2019, we then found a company in Frankfurt, which was listed called Nextway. It had a 300 million euro revenues a year, but only made like $500,000 to $1 million a year revenue, very small profit. So very, very small company in terms of profit. We merged the two companies together. So in 1 year, we made a 10x return by taking into a 300 million company, which was duly listed on OTC in Frankfurt. In 2020, we did a deal with Fubo TV. We merged it in March 26th or so. On October 8th, we listed it for $2.5 billion. Then it went up to around 9.5. So we made a 300x return in 2 years. So sometimes, we are very agile and active in seeing where the trends are, but at the same time, if we need to pivot, we pivot. So to turn a $30 million company into the biggest IPO during COVID was, I'm not sure if we can beat this again, but with Impulse or with SOAR, we can soar to, skies and beyond.
Yeah,
Love that.
I love that. Roman, just quick audio check. Can you hear me, Roman, by chance? I'm gonna.
Roman, can you hear us?
Yeah, no, dude. Twitter is so bad when it comes to audio. There's always something going on.
It's not even Twitter. It's I've never seen this streamer, but maybe I'll ask Patrick this question.
Sure.
So just in terms of like revenues to date, I don't think you've alluded to what the business revenues are, or do you have like contracts in the works? I'm just trying to tie the market. Obviously, we think power transfer to all sorts of devices could be a massive space, but like,
correct.
What kind of revenues are we talking about? Is this a $100 billion opportunity, a $5 billion opportunity? Like, where do you see the revenues of the business today, and where this could go in the future?
And maybe the TAMs as well.
I would say the number is just astronomical. I think 5 billion is not doing ourselves justice, but I don't want to sound arrogant or cocky that they will get there. There's still a lot of work to be done. So we're doing it one step at a time. We believe that this is a unicorn in the making. I don't want to say it's going to be 500 billion or 1 trillion. So obviously we want to get to those kind of figures, but there's a lot of work to be done. And we have to take it step by step, and we can't get too excited either, because I've also invested in companies that didn't work also. So not every single company works, but this is something that I'm spending the majority of my time on, which is, time is money, as they say.
Yeah, and I think that, just to add there, sorry, I've been a little bit mute. I've been responding to a bunch of bug problems on the app. But yeah, just to add in there, I think it's important that I've read. I mean, you guys know I'm all over the place all night. I very rarely sleep, it seems like. I talk to a lot of people every day, and I think that we want more early stage opportunities. This is an early stage opportunity and something that can be massive. Is it massive today? I think it's a great opportunity personally. Something that I would love to, have a bigger piece of the pie, frankly. It was why we were so attracted to them when we first started speaking to them. But it's early stage investing. At the end of the day, ICM, that's what it is, right? We're getting into projects early. Companies fail, companies succeed. That's part of the game. That's never going to change. There's nothing SOAR can do. There's nothing Kickstarter can do or Indiegogo. All of these products are just giving people companies that people might be interested in and that they can get a share of if they would like to. And that's really what we're trying to do on SOAR. I think Impulsor exemplifies what we're looking to do. Huge opportunity, early stage, retail access, all of those things are exactly what we're looking for.
Patrick, I would love to hear this from you. Obviously, you've had experience with different companies. You've made some very good investments. What was it about Impulsor that got you so excited? And what about this market got you so excited?
First of all, there are companies, there are people trying to do not necessarily what Impulsor are doing. The technology has been out there for some time, but no one's really turned this around and tried to monetize it in its way. When I got to meet Roman and the team, I was super excited, just the same way as when I met the Pulse Evolution guys, when I saw the Michael Jackson hologram, the Tupac hologram, when I met John, and I knew that we're onto like $1 billion company. So likewise, this is even bigger than an entertainment company. This has uses that goes to government, to to individuals, to companies, and the opportunities kind of like only really arrived today because of AI, drones, robotics, and the speed in which all this has happened in the last 10, 15 years, and it's going to go even faster with quantum computing and AI. So we believe that the synergy that Impulsor will provide is like a huge opportunity, and that's why I'm super excited about it. And like Tom, I'm also very passionate where if you have an idea, you have something really, really exciting for you, it's not just about the money aspect, it's also about creating real value that really moves the needle. And I think that this is a once in a lifetime kind of opportunity for us to make this into a massive company.
Maybe I have a question for Roman. Roman, can you hear me? No, Roman cannot hear me. Okay, so then this question is for you, Patrick.
Sure.
Maybe give us some practical use cases and utilities to really help this hit home for people. I know you mentioned like you can charge your phone if just anywhere in a room. You can charge AI drones, with laser beams. You can power entire cities. Maybe give us a couple practical use cases so it just really drills home for people the size of this opportunity.
Okay, so I'll give you two examples. The first example, let's say a drone. You're either looking at flight minutes or you're looking at distance covered. So usually the drone industry, they talk about flight minutes. So typically there's a finite supply of the flight time due to the battery constrictions, right? So for example, in Europe, the Black Hornet, which is one of the most sophisticated drones, the flight time's only like 35 minutes at full power, right? In Japan, they have a hybrid which goes for, I think, like 2 hours, but it has to have a battery plus some petrol, right? Now, what we're saying here is with this, it ends up turning into kind of like a Starlink for energy. Instead of just a 35-minute limited time, we can actually power the drone that could basically fly indefinitely if all the right things were placed. Okay, obviously it'll cost money, but that could be one use case. The second one is, for example, an electric vehicle can be done when they drive into, let's say, the garage, without every day you have to plug in the car. Instead, you drive into any way you park, the car will start charging, right? Now, if we go really, really techy and we put a lot of money into this, what actually can happen is a driving EV can actually be charged in motion.
Wow.
How soon is this going to be possible? Is this it? Are you seeing
A lot of
success
it
in
is
your-
a lot of it is capital relevant. Like if you drop me like 100 million, a billion, 5 billion, everything gets much quicker, right? And obviously, different governments and different Fortune 500 companies wanting this will obviously money talks, and money makes the whole thing move a lot faster.
Who have you seen that's been interested so far? Anyone that you can name? I know there are things that you might not can disclose.
Right now, it's some governments and bigger companies. So right now, there's no consumer orders yet, but all the orders that Roman was talking previously were all either government or industrial related.
Very nice. Really quick. We saw Roman came back on. Roman, can you hear us? Just quick sound check.
I can now hear everyone.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. Awesome. Well, glad that we got you back. We'll definitely loop you in on some of these questions here. I think
I got some more
Yeah.
technical stuff if we want to let Roman kind of
Please.
take the reins here.
Please go for it.
Maybe talk about your core models. I think you said there was 3 core CPT models you mentioned. Can you maybe explain how each of those works? I think I saw optical, magnetic resonance, and then a radio frequency.
Yeah. So all CPT works on the same fundamental architecture. Energy source, which could be battery, generator, mains, whatever. Energy source feeds electrical power to a transmitter. Transmitter converts that electrical energy into some other form, which then travels to the target, the receiver, and then the receiver converts it. So let's talk the coolest, I personally think. Patrick may disagree, but I really like it. The optical solution that we're developing. We basically have very high power lasers, one or an array. They go through a bunch of optics and they travel to the target, which is, say, moving very quickly in 3D space. The two systems align. They target themselves with like an AI onboard alignment system. And then you have the receiver end. Now, the receiver end is even more complex than the transmitter end. But effectively, you can consider it like a specialized photovoltaic cells. And the secret source that we have, I can't talk about it now. It's in the pipeline, the communication pipeline, and you're gonna see it. And I think there's gonna be a lot of surprised people out there.
I'm really interested to know, where are you guys working on this? Obviously, you have an office or something somewhere to research and work on this stuff. And what does that look like internally?
Yeah, so that's a really collaborative effort. This is extremely complex, lots of moving parts, specific suppliers. We have an amazing professor who's worked on CPT methods for a very long time. We have a doctor supporting him. He knows the fundamentals inside out. But one of the key sort of, let's say, key USPs that we have is actually how business knowledge and how the understanding of the problem actually impact on how we solve and the solution itself. I think Elon Musk said something along the lines of the biggest problem of smart engineers is solving the problem that shouldn't be there. Well, I'm paraphrasing, but I think he said something like that. And so to identify exactly the problem and to design the solution, have the people, the contacts, the infrastructure, that's crucial, and that's why we're able to pull it off, and that's why I really believe in this team.
We talked about government contracts. CVU has a question in chat here. He said, have you guys considered military contracts and how your technology could be used in drones? Is anything off limits for you guys, or is it kind of just the world is your oyster situation right now?
Right
I think
now,
I'll
the
let
world's
Patrick
our
answer that one.
they're right now the world's our oyster.
Okay, so military contracts are something you guys are looking or interested to do potentially?
It'll probably be a lot of. I didn't want to touch upon it too much today, but it will be definitely something that a lot of companies and governments will want access to this technology.
Question
If
for
we
Tom,
can-
real quick. Chill. There's clearly a lot of like a lot going on here. A ton to dissect. Probably deep talks.
Yeah, you noticed I've been like clicking around answering a bunch of people.
The website. Where can I find all this information in just like a nice easy area to just really study
Yeah, so
up?
if you go to the Impulsor page, we're still actually adding some more documents. We, full transparency, did not put everything up on this launch at first second. We were trying to kind of hold off on snipers and things like that. Did it work? Kind of, it seems like. Not as good as we wanted it to. And we put so much thought into this. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that regard. But we do have a lot of new mechanics coming out. So it was kind of just like, it's an MVP at the end of the day, right? So literally our first launch, get things right. We have a bunch of ideas for how to protect launches in the future better. But you can go to the webpage. There's a bunch more documentation being updated as well. I believe Roman and Patrick also have a new website coming soon. We're going to be doing some live demos in the near future as well. We'll probably work with them on those. So yes, there's a lot of DD you can do on the website for all of our launches. We're going to continually increase the ability for people to go on the website and say, what is this company? What are they doing? It's not available yet, but in the next coming days, we're going to also have the ability for people to KYC, KYB on the website automatically so that you know that you're not buying into some anon project. It's a real business. It's a real company. We can actually create our debt agreements with that KYC or KYB business automatically. So if you go down a little bit on the page there, I think I'm looking at your screen. So you have a description. Here's your gallery. Below that will be artifacts. I don't know if they're up yet. They should be up shortly. If not, yeah. So there'll be an artifacts right there as well. You'll be able to download and look at a bunch of documents that are internal documents that the company will share.
And this forum spot, Tom, is this where people can talk kind of like a stock twits or message boards? If anyone remembers that.
Investing is very social nowadays. So like I'm sure you've seen FOMO's doing really well, right? We want to make it so that it's a very social feeling app. People want to invest with their buddies, buy things with their buddies. And we're very passionate about building out this full experience where you can see, hey, what's Josh buying? What's Dom buying, et cetera, very quickly, and make it feel very interactive.
Do we have a follower check? Dom, have you eclipsed?
It's got to be close, bro.
Yeah, let's see. I can search right now. And guys, there's an internal little joke going on. I want to surpass Tom in followers on his own app. I have 119. Yeah. He's got 167. Wow, so mass unfollow really Tom and follow me.
What about Patrick and Roman? Are their profiles on SOAR? And is there a way that as the founders, we can kind of follow their journey on SOAR?
That's a good question.
Yes, we can. We are.
Okay.
Let's drop the plug.
We might get your links after and we'll add it to the show.
Notes. Yeah. We've been focused on, developing company stuff, but definitely yes is the short answer. Anyway, my X is PATPL Sang TSANG. So I'll drop it and then I'll send also the link of me on SOAR as well.
Thanks,
Sweet.
Top
like
Fumbler's
got it here.
Looks like they've already tracked you down on the app there, Patrick.
Okay. Do I have more than Josh or not? The followers?
Probably not. Probably not.
No. Let's see. Probably not because we have an audience going here. Okay. I got 52, so I don't know.
Okay.
But I do have a question for now. We got Tom and Patrick here, so I think it's important. Patrick, you said, right now you're constrained by capital. Ideally, you have more capital, you can make this develop quicker. How are you making money from SOAR? And Tom, maybe you can tell us how SOAR is getting this money into Patrick's hands and what it's going to go to, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, totally. So we use a similar model to some other platforms, right? So 1% of volume goes to ourselves as the company. We'll have some pretty exciting stuff about where those fees are actually going. I know people love transparency in that regard in the next couple of weeks. And then 1% goes directly to the company. So we've spoke a lot with obviously Patrick and Roman Listen, we're a new platform. We just launched. We couldn't guarantee them, $10 or $1 million in fees, right, for their fundraising. They're coming here because they believe in the platform. They want to give this opportunity to retail. Most importantly, we wanted to find something that was intriguing, different than the stuff that we typically see on ICM. So the money in terms of them is never going to affect them. They've been self-funded, like I said, friends and family, et cetera, as they stated. Just make sure that people understand that, like I said, they're taking a huge shot. They were never looking to come to us because of fundraising. There's a ton of other motives for that.
Okay, well, Patrick, then that's a perfect chance for you to jump in and tell us some of your motives.
Yeah, so I mean, I would say a couple of points, right? First of all, if I go through the traditional, not even VC route, but traditional, high net worth family office, which I know a lot of friends that would be, jumping at investing in this. First of all, we already have enough funding for the products and so forth. It's just any new money will help us accelerate it. So we can definitely raise the money quite easily with my network track record. I can get the money quite, I won't say easily, but it wouldn't take so much time, right? I'm quite interested in the way SOAR has positioned it with the new debt structure. I think it's quite novel and innovative. I know the three founders very well. I know the team behind it. So a shout out to obviously Tom, Sean, and John, the founders, and then you have the people working behind the scenes, Jordan, Ramsey, Nick, everyone's who's not just able people, but actually good people. And I want to work with good people and smart people. Regarding like venture, I would also say that I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier. I'm a big believer of tech. I really believe in democratizing change in general. I'm a big believer of AI taking away jobs. Obviously, people losing jobs is not good, but I also believe that there's greater good and benefit of AI and different changes to humanity than losing jobs. We as a species will always figure out a way of dealing with things. So I believe that through SOAR, we can actually use this as a test case to really bridge Web 2 to Web 3 through this new novel debt structure that they have. And again, being a bit kind of, I don't know if philanthropic is the right word, but sharing with the public a way for them to have access to this at an early stage instead of waiting it becomes a $100 billion company where people won't have any upside thereafter.
Got it.
That makes sense. I really want to dig into this background, Patrick, and again, guys, I'm not sure what you have on your plate today if you've cleared your schedule, but you have a very extensive background, and I'm seeing some people in chats pull it up. Like I said, you guys don't even understand right now. Everyone is digging into everything about you guys on the back end here. Maybe tell us how you plan to use and leverage some of these connections that you've made in the past, bringing other companies public to replicate that with this.
I as I said before, I've been in investing and TradFi for you guys call it TradFi for a very long time, and sometimes your original plan doesn't go according to plan. So you've got to be very agile and very smart in pivoting when you need to. But our current plan is to take this as far as we can. We want to look at consumer products. We want to increase the R&D. One thing I don't think we spoke enough is we have filed for patents, and we're going to file for new patents. And along the way, there's going to be a lot of patents which will create a lot of value on the IP side. So the IP is one of the key assets of the company, obviously, because of the technology. And the professor that we're working with, he's one of the lead professors in, I think the university's ETF. Correct me if I'm wrong, Roman, which is the MIT.
Freiburg, University Freiburg, but
which is the like the MIT of Europe or Switzerland. So we're very, and also on another note, because of how SOAR and ICM works, there needs to be a public kind of profile and social media profile following of this, which will help with the PR side of the company, which has good and bad points. Now, I have a big reputation in the traditional finance side. I've got to make sure that this is a safe way of doing the way. I've got to make it a success. So that's my incentive to make this happen, not just from a profit standpoint, but also from a reputation standpoint.
Got it. And I don't know if you guys have any other questions. I kind of wanted to just pivot a little bit to the tech side with Roman and have him go through the demo just one
Yeah.
more time.
Now that our
Now
audio
that audio issues are in order, if you don't mind, Roman, I'd love to kind of just walk through that one more time.
Okay. Yeah. So this is my table. I have basically I work here, and the amount of cables that I had is just way too much. Like, okay, you know what? I need to do something here. And so there is a generator in the table, and it is creating a charging field. And here we can literally see that it is a 3-dimensional field. So out here, that stops, right? And you come in, and there you go. So there's a bit of a gradient.
So cool.
It's insane.
But
It's insane.
and yeah, and it's also very precise. So for example, just here is a stop. I wanted to make the stop like here. And here we go. And there it goes. So this could be used to, like, for example, if you had 10 people in an office block and they're all working there on like one of those long tables, and they all have a monitor, like keyboard, mouse, 2 phones, headphones, all of that stuff needs at the moment cables. Or in, let's say, the most decluttered environment that you can get right now is like have those induction pads, but still you've got to align it really precisely. Or you just have a bunch of cables, like a jungle of cables. And surely there's a better way to do it. And this is that way. And you can put as many devices as you want, and it charges all of them at the same time. So that's pretty cool, I think.
And so tell me
Yeah,
quick
go
on
ahead.
the range too. Chill. Sorry, I'll let you butt in. I'm hogging a bit. But this one works for this specific table. Is the technology underneath it, or how can I make this maybe fill up an entire house if I just want to charge
You can.
and have everything working?
So yeah, so I think so you basically can run this coil, like it's a thin wire around whatever you want. So if I wanted to charge 3-dimensionally this entire room, I would just kind of like run the cable in 3 dimensions, and then I would be able to charge everything in between. Regarding range, it's all about the specific design, the application. Like it gets complicated, but you can get some pretty good range on it as well. But the point is that you basically loop around whatever you want charged. So I think Patrick mentioned something about charging. I didn't really hear it that well. I had technical issues, but I think Patrick mentioned something about charging a car while it's driving on the road.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
I was just mentioning, Roman, where
Yeah.
I said I mean at the beginning, part one would be, instead of plugging in your Tesla with the charging cable, the car could be parked in any way without the plug, and the car starts charging. That's phase one.
Yeah.
Eventually, with the right, obviously a lot of capital will be needed. The second one is the car is moving, and we could charge the car as it's moving.
Yes. So, and that's gonna be, it's gonna be some investment, but that will be substantially less investment than doing induction, let's say. So it is actually, in a way, there's a sort of like induction plus. Like it's just the next. I wouldn't say evolutionary step. I think it's a revolutionary step forwards. It is literally power on demand, power unbound. That's kind of what it is. Yeah.
Roman, can you explain what induction is?
Yeah, so well, I mean, we're all familiar with induction, which is you have a coil in a like a charging pad, that's usually like propped up, right? And you have your phone. Your phone has also a coil in it, and as it comes really close, the circulating current induces a current in the phone and charges it. This works on similar fundamental principles. It just works in a 3-dimensional way.
Got it. Go ahead, Dom. Go ahead.
No, I just remembered you had some questions. I didn't want to interrupt. So go ahead, Chill, please.
No. Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see some people having technical questions here.
Yeah.
Top Fumbler said, and we're gonna do a whole Q&A segment at the end if you guys don't mind. But Top Fumbler
Sure.
had one. He said, at this scale, does it create massive EMFs that can mess up with non-compatible electronics? Maybe answer that question, and also tell me what are some issues you guys are running into?
Okay, so
I'm sorry,
No,
Roman. Why don't you also talk about safety as well?
Sweet.
yeah, okay. So that actually all goes into the same sort of design of a tech. So because it's resonance, it actually works specifically with specific receivers, right? So like I'm wearing headphones now, it's all fine. I mean, I know we have some technical issues, but that's definitely on the software side. So it only works with a really specialized receiver. And so like that's why it's also safe, because again, like it only powers the receiver. One problem that you may have is if you have a lot of metallic objects, like heavy metal objects. I mean, this table is actually made 50% from wood and 50% from steel. So, and it's still working just fine. So yeah, most of the time it's totally fine. It's safe, CE approved, and no, it does not interfere with other electronics.
Got it. Sounds good. No, we appreciate you answering
Chill.
those questions for us.
One,
Yeah, what's up,
one
Josh?
more on this. So Quant actually had a question of how far this was along. Like, is this actively commercialized? I know you guys are filing new patents, but like, is the product out in the market? Is this something people can buy and put in their table today?
We're gonna deliver it. Like literally, we're about like a few weeks away from delivering the first units.
Amazing.
So that's pretty exciting. Regarding like scale up from there, yeah, that's going to be an interesting challenge for us, because of course the demand is very large. I mean, Patrick probably, when I couldn't hear him, probably explained how large the demand is. Now we do have a really great team member, Tim, who specializes in global commerce, supply chains. And so we should be able to get enough of the materials, the very complex and multiple components that you need to actually deploy product. So it's on the way. Again, we have the communication strategy, so I'm going to defer to that. But it's on the way.
We do have a rule in the show where if you start talking about the alpha, you got to keep talking about it, but we'll waive that for you. Maybe a follow on from that is, do you see the hardware manufacturers of consumer goods? Like, are you selling them the product, or are you selling it direct to consumer?
Well, again, this boils down to entrepreneurial spirit, and we have that in bucket loads, and we're targeting speaking to everyone, like literally everyone.
Cool. I think that was all.
Huge. Yeah, no, we appreciate you guys coming on. We're kind of coming up on the hour mark, so not really sure how much time that you guys have. But we
late
definitely
too, probably where you guys are at as well. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, so we definitely appreciate you guys coming on. And if you have to hop, you can just let us know.
Let me. I think the last thing
segments.
I want to do real quick is we should talk about the tokenomics a little bit. I think people are going to be confused, and I think I'd like to clarify all that.
Please.
Stuff. So, first of all, we're working on updating the deck spreader. I know that the market cap is not reflecting right. You don't have to DM me again. I am fully aware. We are on it. Second thing. So how our token structure works. We have a private agreement. SOAR and Impulsor have a private agreement such that the float that is on the open market, which currently is 6%, so there's a 6% circulating supply, is a private debt against the Impulsor company, okay? All the docs have been signed. That was all handled before this launch. Should, in 3 months, their 90% wallet, which you'll see if you look at any holders' wallets, should in 3 months, they decide to ever unlock any more tokens and put them on the open market, number one, it's a cost back to Roman and Patrick and their company because it increases the debt against their company. So it is not just sell tokens as quick into the open market like we've seen for the past 5 years, 6 years. There is a very high cost to the company when they sell tokens or even take tokens off of that wallet, right? If they go and buy back tokens off the open market, that debt decreases against their company. So a company like Impulsor that is going to have huge market share, we hope, is going to be able to lower that debt over time. Most importantly, they're not going to be looking to basically unlock any more tokens in the open market. With other companies, maybe even Impulsor, we want this to be a liquid market. We want there to be an ebb and flow to this, right? So maybe at points, it's strategic for Roman or Patrick to use the open market, the liquidity pool, to raise a little bit of debt, put that into marketing, put that into production, wherever that is, something that gives them a quick ROI on
And
their
Tom,
money.
this has to be voted on is that correct?
So how it works is that it doesn't, it's a permissionless process. They send in a disclosure form that says, we Impulsor are claiming 1% of our tokens. This is after 3 months, mind you, so 3 months from today. We're claiming 1% of our token. This is why we're doing it. This is the use of funds. They give all of that in this disclosure form. The market sees this. They understand it. 72 hours later, those tokens are actually sent out. So you have a lot of time as a token holder to respond if you don't agree with the disclosure, if you think that the company has been acting in bad faith, whatever it is. You have all that transparency in front of you. It's a very good, in my book, it's a very good vetting of companies because you can very quickly see, are these guys serious? 3 months is a long time, right? In 3 months, you're going to know, is Roman a great founder? Is Patrick, a great chairman, et cetera? All of those things will be very transparent. We're quite confident that the answer will be yes. So maybe if they go to claims and tokens at some point, maybe it's 1%, 2%, whatever the number is, you're going to say, yeah, some people are going to sell. Don't get me wrong. I understand how markets work. But the reality is that should be a good opportunity for more people to get entry to the token. Some people that were longer term holders, they capitulate. New holders come in. That debt still stands against their company. And most importantly, it's a senior debt against their company, right? So even with like equity tokens, for example, which I know a lot of people have in their mind, equity is very illiquid. It doesn't actually return capital until your company gets acquired, merged, et cetera, right? A senior debt is something that you want to get off your books as a company. Most people don't like debt. There's a reasonable amount of debt, which we think is around the 5% mark or 6% mark, that is healthy and makes sense. You can't take a 60% debt against your company. So the FDV, that number is a completely illogical number given to the market. Unfortunately, that's how our tokenomics work. And the reality is that we want all this transparent on chain. So we don't want you trading 100% float token that only represents 5% of the company or the debt of the company, right? Our tokenomics are very transparent in that they own the majority of their token, free and clear of any debt. The tokens on the market are the debt to owed back to SOAR. And like I said, any good company that is making profits is inevitably going to take those tokens off the open market, lower their debt over time. And if they want to do it the other way, they're welcome to, but the market is going to be transparent and understand that entire flow the entire way.
And to be clear, if they go and sell, let's say 10% of the company, so someone leads a round for them and they go and sell 10% of that company, what happens to that 10% of tokens that are currently maybe unreleased? Do they get like locked permanently, burned? What happens?
That's a great question. So at the end of the day, the 90% wallet represents the ownership of the company, right? In that case, maybe the investor, maybe they're a Web3 investor and they actually want tokens, right? We'll work with Impulsor or any of our companies to make a logical vesting schedule if they want tokens. More than likely, Impulsor is going to raise from Web2 VCs, right? So the reality is that whether those tokens move to a separate wallet that's also custodial or they just stay in the current wallet, it doesn't actually affect the debt. So those tokens might never move. But they're welcome to raise. They're welcome to raise from Web3 investors because they have tokens to sell if they want to. We just saw that, I believe, with Orgo yesterday, right? They had a deal made. All of those options are on the table. And the inevitable day that we hope comes where there's an IPO, some type of liquidity event, a merger, an acquisition, we have a way to recover that debt back from the company and then at our deference, do with that as we see fit to benefit token holders.
So the true market cap here is actually more like 2.1 million rather than the 21, which is displayed, or actually even less since
it's 6% of the current FDV. So rough math would be like 1.3 or so, right?
Okay.
So 22 times 0.06. Sorry, I'm doing some 1.3. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And all those tokens, like I said, the reality is I know, and listen, it's the first day of our launch. I know I wrote so many docs yesterday that no one wants to read. I highly recommend, if you don't understand our model, please go read the docs. Understand that you can take a 100% debt against your company.
We need a little animation video, dude. Like those ones that you see on YouTube.
We can work on that. Like it's no different than equity fundraising, right? You don't sell all of your company. Our model enables you to sell a little bit of debt on the open market. And in our case, the tokens will never hit anywhere near that 100%. I don't know what that max threshold of debt against the company will be. I think the market will determine that. I think that 20% starts getting a little bit egregious. 25 and 30 is really egregious, frankly. We'll see that over time as the model evolves. But don't be warned or don't be scared by an FDV, because the FDV is representing the entire value of the company. The circulating supply is what the actual tokens represent.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We want to make sure to get some community questions. Patrick, Roman, we will wrap here, let you guys go. You know, you can get active on Twitter. I'm sure there'll be more updates coming. We'll leave your links in the show notes. In the meantime, let's get some community questions. We'll ask a few of those. And Tom, you can just stay on and we'll cover some more technical stuff on the SOAR platform side rather than the specific CPT side.
And just to close this out, Roman, Patrick, we really appreciate you guys coming through. I know this is a huge day for you guys, huge step here that you're taking with SOAR. So we appreciate you guys taking the time to share all that you did. Roman on the tech side, Patrick, you're on the kind of capital investment side. But we really appreciate the insights and looking forward to seeing what you guys build out here over the coming months.
Excited for demos, man. The demos are going to really hit home for a lot of people.
And any final thoughts if you want to lead off here?
Well, first of all, I want to say thanks to SOAR, the communication guys, Patrick, the team. It's really been a pleasure. It's been a lot of long hours, but I think it was really fantastic. And thank you guys for hosting us.
Awesome. Patrick?
So, yeah, thanks, Josh, Dom, and Chill, and obviously the SOAR team, Roman. We're available on the SOAR platform and on Twitter. So just text us, reach out. We'll try to answer whatever we can. And then I think we will have some kind of demo video that we will put out there, which I think, like one of you guys just said, it's just easier when people see videos or pictures.
Awesome. You had 9,000 people watching you today, just so you know.
Wow.
That's it. I thought it'd be 90,000.
Yeah, next time.
At the end of the day, it'll be 90.
When you do the IPO, we can celebrate at 90,000.
There we go.
That's a deal. That's
okay, guys. Look forward to seeing you guys in person. Okay, that's SOAR.
Absolutely. Are you guys going to be in Dubai, Met Dhabi, Abu Dhabi?
Yes, for F1. Yes.
Perfect.
Nice,
We'll see you there.
nice.
Finance Week in Abu Dhabi, boys. F1's gonna be lit.
Okay.
It's gonna be a movie.
Take care, everyone. Let's soar.
Take care, guys.
Let's soar. Let's soar. All right, bro. Just so you know, Tom, we got Ryan Babel in the audience. He just said, great show. He was asking us some questions about you as well.
Ryan Chill is a huge soccer fan. I'm not a big soccer guy, but Chill, he's like, oh, Ryan Babel, dude. Ryan Babel's awesome. He's a legend. There's your flowers.
Ryan Babel watches my show?
No way.
Dude, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
Who is Ryan Babel? I don't know. And
bro,
by
he's
the
a
way,
soccer
Ryan,
player, professional?
you're a legend.
Yeah, he's a professional soccer player.
Ryan has made the transition to Web3, man. He's doing it both now. He's a big Web3 guy. So we'll have to get him on the show. He said he'd come on the show.
Yeah, join us in the trenches, Ryan. Love it.
We got a ton of questions for you, Tom. Ton of questions talking about tokenomics. You ready to just rock through them?
I'm here.
Sweet. By the way, awesome launch. I don't think a lot of people really realize what just launched on chain.
This is the moment, Tom. The game has changed. You have done it. I think this is the model. I'm convinced.
I really, in my heart, I can't tell you how many hours I've spent on with Sean and John and the rest of the team talking about this.
Tom earned it. Come here, put the head down.
Tom, come on,
you
let's
go.
crown
You see
you.
my bald spot, bro.
Ah,
I told you I was
shoot.
losing hair. No, but genuinely, I appreciate everyone. I know I've been in the ICM lab a ton and talking with people. So listen, there's always things to fix, frankly. We're perfectionists. I'm not happy about how some things have went, but I think overall I'm quite pleased that people are at least seeing the vision and the model. We'll iterate over time and really kind of perfect this. And there's a lot of really cool stuff that, frankly, software development is very difficult. You can see the platform. There's some stuff that's working well. Some stuff isn't. I know mobile isn't great yet. Those are things that we want to really crush soon. So we're on that.
I think what's fascinating about this and what's really just resonating with me and hitting home is finally we get an opportunity as the small guys, as retail, to invest in companies, and I'm not going to give some unrealistic expectations here, but that could be the next SpaceX or OpenAI, stuff that's been barred. We know OpenAI is going to IPO for $1 trillion, I think, is what I was seeing.
And you know how many retail investors got into those rounds? Zero. It's criminal. It's really criminal. I mean, honestly, if you care about advancing our world and kind of what democratized finance is about and what crypto is about, fixing that problem is something that we need to solve.
I think people got to realize the scale size of this one too, because there's so many facets to it. There's 3 different models, and I read up on this a bit. That's why I was kind of disconnected for the first part of the call. I was really just trying to catch up. And they got these 3 different models. Some where it's beaming energy, somewhere it's power grids. But again, think, what's that? What's the Elon Musk Wi-Fi thing? He mentioned it during the call.
Starlink.
Think Starlink for energy. You can power cities,
exactly
power
what he
houses,
said.
power drones, power robots, power cars. In this advanced robotics AI future we're headed in, something like this is part of that natural evolution. I think there's a lot of information that needs to come out. And I think a lot of that's going to add to maybe the lore and the excitement as it comes out. So you guys got to keep up with their Twitter and stuff. Tom, by the way, great first incubation. This is a sick project.
Thank you.
I can't wait to put out a full write-up, but Chill, you had some thoughts.
Yeah. I want to first echo Dom's sentiment. I mean, dude, this was huge, and exactly what Josh said. Like, this is the moment. I think what a lot of people don't realize what just launched. This is truly an investment, like an early investment to what we've been saying, kind of like a Web2 company with like unicorn level potential here. That just launched on chain. But a question that I have for you, I see a lot of people in the comments. They're like, stacked. Like this is probably the most the trenches have gotten in terms of like a true project that with all the DD at their, at the door when you come in, you know what I mean? Like through the SOAR platform. I love your DD feature. But the question I had was, a lot of people are asking about like, what's a token utility? Like, will token holders get this? Will token holders get that? Can we just revisit just one more time? Because I believe we have almost at this point almost 10,000 people on stream watching us live. We are now officially the highest viewed show on X right now. So just for everyone listening,
you guys are beasts, man. You guys are beasts.
Appreciate it, man, dude. High praise. We appreciate it. And look at that freaking chart. But yeah, just walk us through the game theory one more time. I think you mentioned on the other stream, just kind of the holding mechanics, the benefits of that, just some of that stuff, so people understand exactly what this is.
And there's a question pulled up too.
Cool. So we speak to a lot of founders. I don't hang out in an ICM lab just talking to traders all the time. I do speak to tons and tons of founders, as does Nick and the rest of the team. One of the things that always comes up, and I'm not new to crypto, our whole team isn't, right? People always say, how do I add utility to my token? Some people add governance to their token, and that's all great. But has that model, frankly, worked well? I don't think so. I think that the lack of utility across most tokens is quite glaring, frankly. And so we tried to, when we first started building this model, we really thought about like, do we need utility or do we need better ownership, right? Do we need value in companies? Removing this dual token equity model has been frankly cancerous for a long time, right? Getting rid of it is something we need to do. So yeah, in terms of utility, all of our companies, curated or not, whether they're KYB and verified, et cetera, they are welcome to add utility to their tokens. But the most important thing, and I can reciprocate this many times and repeat myself, the most important thing is that there is an intrinsic tie between the token and the company. You're not buying into a token where the equity holders are living, in their penthouses. Uniswap, not to shit on them, but the reality is that the Uni token and Uniswap equity holders are completely separated in two different universes. And I don't agree with that, right? I want our tokens to represent the value of the company. It's not going to happen on day one. It's going to take people to understand our model better. But the reality is that we take a direct debt against the company themselves. The token float represents that debt on chain. You can see that the company right now, 94% of that is locked up. That's because there is a 6% debt, i.e. the 6% circulating supply. It's a senior debt, so you can't really get around it. We have very strict contracts. I'm an attorney. One of our co-founders is also an attorney. We put a lot of thought into how we tie ownership back to these tokens. And the second thing is, adding on to that, is that we also give founders full range to do what they need to do. The opinion of many sometimes doesn't work, right? I think you get a lot of short-term outcomes when you do that. We want to make sure that founders are empowered. Founders have the ability to build their company as they see fit. Transparently, working with their holders is one of the things that we advise, and we work with them a lot on doing so. It's, like I said, legally we can't do participation and dividends and all those things, as we know. Most importantly, intrinsic tie back to the company.
Got it. And I think that's really the most important takeaway from all of this. There was also a question in the chat real quick that kind of related to that. The dog with the GOG is his name. He says, please clarify and confirm this if this is the case. So overall, it's just venture debt where the creditor is actually crowdfunding the debt through the coin. Is that a good way of thinking about it?
That's a pretty decent way to think about it. So how we go, if you guys were a startup and we were trying to pitch you, right? How would we pitch you? We usually tell them that it is an interest-free debt that is only callable upon a liquidity event. How do we define a liquidity event? There are a couple things in the contract otherwise, but primarily merger, acquisition, IPO, right? Main ways that equity holders would get paid back. On that event, we get paid back. We are a senior debt. We're the first thing that gets paid back. But the reality is that shorter term, they're able to buy back tokens in a rational way, right? Every time they buy back tokens, they are reducing their debt against their balance sheet. So, for example, if a company goes to raise and maybe the VC says, we don't love that you have a 4% debt against your company right now. Is there any way to get rid of that or lower it, right? They have the opportunity to use the open market trustlessly and buy back tokens off the open market, thus lowering their debt to a reasonable number that the VC is happy with. Token holders benefit because at the end of the day, if you're buying tokens off the open market, what do you think happens to the chart, right? So yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good summary. I think what I just said is how we pitch it, and that's the most clear way to do it. But yeah, it's venture debt without interest, essentially.
Awesome. I think Josh had a question here too.
Sure.
Yeah, he mentioned, like a potential, let's say, IPO, which gets us in front of the broader capital markets, the real liquidity capital markets. In that scenario, they then raise a bunch of money, or is that like, how does that I'm just trying to understand the dynamic of that scenario where there's, let's say this goes on to be a public IPO and it's worth, I don't know, they IPO at $2 billion or something, hypothetically, not even this company. Let's just speak in hypotheticals.
Totally.
A $2 billion raise, IPO, what happens to these tokens in that scenario?
So we believe in being flexible, right? As a company, as a startup, most importantly, flexibility is one of the things that on-chain we have not presented to anyone. We've always made it this thing where you come on-chain for the first time, you launch a token for your company, you own none of your supply, you're not able to fundraise anymore because all of your tokens are allocated. All of those things lead to this situation where everyone hates coming on-chain, right? Startups just don't want to do it. They're smart enough to know this. So we talk to all these companies and we give them a ton of options. So if you were to go from SOAR all the way to IPO, right, there's a few options that could occur along the way. Number one, maybe at some point you decide that the token is valuable, but not valuable enough to continue, or it blocks some future fundraise or some type of IPO event, right? Plausible. What do you do then? Come talk to us. We work out a reasonable, valuable way to exit the token and remove the token from being representative of the company. What does that look like? Obviously, people are getting compensated, right? That's the most important thing. We'll have to clear that in terms of how it looks like by a case-by-case basis, but that's one option. Sometimes tokens don't work for companies, and we want to give them that option down the road at some point. The second option is that, yes, if you go all the way to IPO, how much money are you making? At least $1 billion a year. I'd assume we're close to it at this point in time with this market, right? You are going to, over time, reacquire these tokens off the open market and remove that debt off your balance sheet. In turn, like I said earlier, tokens benefit because you can't just buy up the entire LP, right? You got to, maybe you're DCAing, maybe you're swapping, whatever you're doing. There's a way that you're acquiring these tokens over time. Maybe you're doing some OTC deals. But the reality is that token holders are intrinsically tied back to the success of the business. So yeah, I mean, like, I can't define what a path of a company will look like. We haven't got there yet, obviously, but we keep all of these doors open, which is something that I think most of the models that exist today, and just general on-chain, has not presented. Like, these founders are smart, like I said, and I know that a lot of people believe that, like, good companies will not come on chain. I argue against that heavily, because I think that it might not be the companies that want to do it, but the VCs that we're working with, these funds that have these illiquid investments. Why would they not want them on chain? Why would they not want to be able to get out of those positions or double down without having to go to the company and get bought out or buy more off the company, right? You can do it all on chain, transparently. We know that hold times aren't where they need to be. We know that patience isn't where it needs to be right now. It's a great opportunity to pick up more of a company way cheaper. SOAR's token model gives you that intrinsic value that you don't have to worry about that this company getting acquired and you getting fucked. All of the things that we've seen so many times before, and I'm so sick of it, frankly.
Where is SOAR at the end of 2026?
It's a great idea. Great question. We put a lot of thought into this between our team. I truly believe that our model will work. I believe that by the end of 2026, there will be new bills passed that allow for equity on chain. I am very hopeful that we will be the first mover that positions ourselves properly so that, for example, should that day come, guess what? Our tokens already represent that general tokenomics model. All I have to do is flip a switch and sign a few contracts, and everyone goes from holding this token and there being a debt structuring to owning equity in all of the companies that launch through us. That is where I think we're getting to, frankly. I'm very bullish on that. And I think that if everything keeps moving as it is right now, we are the best place to go and tokenize your business, fundraise for startups, and all of the above. ICM, but a lot bigger than what we define as ICM right now.
I got to follow on to that. Just a second, Dom. Got to follow on. So in this example, this launch, were there liquid token funds or other institutional capital that was watching this and participating? Or like, how should we think about their involvement in getting access alongside us?
So this launch was interesting. There was 5 people privy to the launch. 1 person privy to the actual deployment of the token. We wanted to remove all of the outside risk vectors of the token launch and the knowledge of it. I think that worked to some degree. It didn't work as well as I wanted it to, but that wasn't a fault of the person in charge. It was just the fault of a few things on the website that actually gave a little bit of early info that we meant to block, but I don't need to get into it. In terms of liquid funds, we've had a lot of conversations with liquid funds. Yes. Are they watching this? I don't know. They didn't know about any of the product, right? We kept that very close to chest. Future launches, we're going to portray a lot earlier. This one we knew would be a little bit of a headache. We wanted to keep all that internal, but yes, I think people are definitely watching. We've spoke to a lot of people that are very interested in this model. And as we get a ton of other companies on chain, curated or otherwise, I think people are going to realize that the launchpad mechanics that we're so used to, A, they don't work. B, the utility governance token arguments don't work. We need to change. If we want on-chain to get better, we need to present opportunities that make sense to the larger players in the space. They're not buying into meme coins. They're not buying into these random utility tokens. And honestly, I don't even think that they're buying into, in a lot of ways, this stuff where you go to them and you say, listen, we'll take care of you should we get acquired, right? They want contractual obligations. That's what they deal with. They want a way to secure the idea that whatever they're buying is going to be high value to them. They don't have to worry about it. And trust me, bro, situations just don't work.
So on that trust me, bro situation, SOAR is the one that has the debt against this company. The company owes back SOAR the debt. How do you, obviously legally, you can't say you're going to pay people back. That seems to be the issue. So frankly, how can people trust SOAR?
Totally. So that's a loaded question.
Has to be asked, right?
No, it should. It should. Listen, I talk every day with everyone. The value of, I got to think about how to say this. This is a protect your ass type of situation. The value of this business is so big. I don't think people realize that this is a $5 trillion market, right? Do you think that we are, as a company, going to ever consider hurting our future because of a short-term or short-sighted decision? Absolutely not. You have to trust in some regard. I get that. But the reality is that we see such a big picture. You just saw we had Patrick Sang, who runs a multi-billion-dollar fund. He got on the show because he's working with a company that we're working with, and he's also working with some of the other companies that we're working with. He is not going to put his name on the line for some idiots that don't know how this works. He's not going to put his name on the line for people that don't have good intentions. Patrick, I don't know if he wants me to say this or not. He's made it in life. His goal is to change the world for the better at this point in time. He doesn't own a lot of, fancy stuff anymore. He wants to push SOAR as a company further, Impulsor as a company further, and investing as a whole, make it more democratized. So, like I said,
dev is feeding the trenches.
I got to ask, so,
go on.
This pipeline, it seems you guys have a really robust pipeline of launches. Like, not only was this one a massive one, but it seems like you have a lot more coming. I think you said there was a big fund feeding you some very interesting projects. Maybe elaborate on that. I'd love to hear what you guys have planned.
Yeah, without getting into too many details, I think that a lot of our deals that we're getting are coming from external sources, people that we've spoken to over the past couple of months. People that, like I said, there's a lot of people, as much as it sounds antithesis to what VCs are about, they want to bring some of these opportunities on chain because it's good for all of us, right? It's good for the market, it's good for Solana, etc. So yes, we have a couple feeders that are sending us stuff. We take them internally, look at them, say, is this a big enough picture? Are they far enough along? Have they raised a bunch of money, etc.? And then we kind of make our decision on what they look like and if we should launch them. But yeah, we're just trying to figure out the right cadence. I posted on Twitter a little earlier, but I don't think that doing curated launch like every day makes a lot of sense right now. We want to highlight our companies. They're great companies, right? We want to put all the focus on them, let them shine, and then the next curated will come out at a later date.
Let's do a little postmortem. What went right?
Cool.
What went wrong about this launch? Very successful, by the way. This chart's really nice, all things considered.
There's a good question also on this thread of how much Impulsor needs to raise versus how much they wanted to raise. Yeah,
sounds like they don't need to raise any, according to Patrick.
Yeah, they had a large friends and family round. They're not. Trust me, this launch had nothing to do with money. Honestly, we thought on our end that it was a huge opportunity. Frankly. Will it accelerate them? Of course, every dollar that you put into a company can accelerate them, like Patrick said, right? But the reality is no, they didn't come to us for money. They came to us because Patrick, who is advising them and working with them, he wanted to give a really cool opportunity early stage for something that can be huge. Will it be huge? I'm not sure. But I'm very bullish on the idea and the execution that they've had to this point. But yeah, no, money was never, that wasn't even a conversation, frankly.
Okay, postmortem.
On
Pros,
the
cons.
launch?
What went good? What went bad? What are you excited to work on? What did this show you? All of that.
Yeah, that's a great question. So really had a heavy focus. Some of the Meteor team were great last night. We were on with them for a really long time trying to think about snipers, right? We had an original plan. We actually diverted from that original plan a little bit late. We did, I think, a lot of things really well on the anti-sniper portion, except for we made one single critical error. That will be resolved in our next launch. We did tip our hand, unfortunately. One wise person made off pretty well. Otherwise, I think distribution is, from what I've seen at least, it looks decent. I think that we kept cool heads. We were pretty much on time. We didn't try to time rug, which I really didn't want to do. There was a few bugs here and there, but I think overall it went well. I think it went well. The demo I thought was very cool. I was happy we could get that done. We're going to be releasing a lot more info on Impulsor and just the overall scope of what they're doing pretty soon as well. Yeah, I was happy. I can't complain at all. I was stressed. Don't get me wrong. I was stressed. But in terms of next steps for us, we're going to do a recap internally in a little bit. And really right now we're just cranking on our next curated launch. And we also have a bunch of like verified stuff that's coming as well. So not everything will be curated. We want people that maybe were going to other launch pads, want to use our tokenomics model, come verify, right? Use our stuff. It's a way better way to give value to your tokens, frankly. Like, I fully believe that. I think that once people understand what they're getting into with DRP, they're going to realize that this is the most direct way to get access to these companies. Why launch anywhere else? If you're serious, I think this is the model to use. I'm biased, but that's what I truly believe.
Quant has a question about the pipeline here. It seems like you guys have some stuff loaded up. How many are you expecting? You said you didn't want to do a launch every single day when it comes to curated stuff. How much are you expecting? It's possible, but nothing's ever impossible. So what are you expecting on that front?
Yeah, so 5 to 10 days is kind of our cadence right now. I think it'll end up being right around one a week. That gives us enough time to collect our thoughts, think about what we're doing, make sure that we're not like, it's a mix of like, yeah, could we do a curated launch every day? Of course. Is the curated badge going to mean shit if we do that every day? No, right? Like art blocks back in the day, they had a great cadence. You knew that they were coming out once a week with a pretty good launch typically. So we're going to follow that for now. That might accelerate. That might decelerate. Like, I don't know. We're going to be pretty open to it. And I think one a week is kind of where my head's at.
Okay, sweet. Crypto Barber had a question. He said it's in the chat. I'm going to pull it up real quick, share this tab. He said, I haven't read this, by the way. I believe you guys can ratify the point of a company later on doing an IPO by getting an assured stake in the IPO for which you can do legal documentation. Supposedly, a company does an IPO at 500 million for 20%. It should actually be something like 25%, where 5% stake is handed over to SOAR Treasury legally for further staking to token holders and adding value to the token itself. It will be, okay, this is a lot here. Let me zoom in and I'll just let you address it if you want.
Oh yeah, wow, that is long. Holy moly.
Maybe Crypto Barber, maybe just like shorten this thing up in a TLDR in the comments.
Yeah, it's a great comment. Yeah, I mean, the question comes down to, right, is what we've seen a lot of is the mechanics that you are going to these startups with, right? They have to make sense for them, frankly. Would I love to give a 5% IPO to all token holders? Yeah, of course. Is a company going to sign over 5% of an IPO? Probably not, frankly. I think that it's something that can be negotiated later on, especially if we're very integral in their success. So that comes down to us being the best we can be, not just a launch pad, but a partner. First check-in for some of these companies. We want to be with you in the trenches every single day. I think I've shown how much I'm willing to be in the trenches myself. We'll continue to do that. Can we get a great deal down the road? 100%. But we have to prove ourselves. We have to work our ass off to do so. And like I said, there's a reasonable value amount that people are going to give back to that. But I would love to do so. I'm just not saying it's feasible right now.
So I like this question by CK. pull that one up.
By CK, 1 sec. Oh, why
Oh,
is Tom guy so good
gosh.
looking? We're trying to figure it
Yes.
out right now, dude.
That's what
He
I'm
looks
saying,
maxes
man.
all day. He does the
They-
mock, or he does the
because-
viewing, right?
BK's a long time friend. Unfortunately, that's not a rando. I would appreciate if a rando said that.
It's okay. We can pretend. We can pretend.
We can.
So,
We can. I'll
Josh,
tell my
you
wife
have
that
to-
someone called me good looking today. She'll like
Oh,
that.
dude, she'll love that. Eat it up. Chill. You had a question?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I think we answered a lot. What else do you guys want to go through?
Maybe the SOAR token. Obviously, people keep
Yeah.
this keeps getting brought
This
up. And
keeps-
before the SOAR token, Tom, you know, tell me a bit about. And I'm blanking, so tell me about the SOAR token.
Okay. So, will there be a token? I can pretty much confirm that one. Will it be in the near future? Probably not. I don't know what I define as near future, but it's not. Listen, we have so much shit on our plate right now. We're working our ass off, working overtime. It's not in the immediate plan, so please just be safe. There will be so many comms from myself. I'm sure I'll come on MCG and talk to you all about it when that day actually comes. It's not going to be some stealth launch. We're not launching it on, launching on Meteor randomly. Like, please be safe, most importantly. There's not going to be, it's just not going to happen that way. There'll be tons of disclosure beforehand. What we do see as a huge value driver, a way to encourage people to trade a little bit differently and give some of these companies time to develop is, I can hint that there will be some incentives to trade on the platform and use the platform in the near future. I really want to, like I said, get people and let these companies develop. Like, these are really cool opportunities. Let them.
What
show
about
you what they're about.
incentives, like a belief score or some sort of like incentive for holding? I mean, I guess
I'm
I
not
don't know
gonna
if you
lie.
can even do that, but
My fills on the SOAR platform were ass, dude. I got filled so high.
yeah, I know.
We got to fix that a little bit. I agree. Yeah, no, you're 100% right, Josh. That will be baked into the formula for sure. Not going to be a belief score, but it'll be reflected in other ways. And also, like, the other thing too is our pipeline's sick. Like, would I love to kind of offer that only to certain users of the platform at some point based on their loyalty to the platform or otherwise? 100%, right? Those are things that we've been thinking about for a long time. I forget if I talked to Josh last night. I might have talked to Chill last night, actually, about doing some new stuff with that. We're also working on some new mechanics for the launches. So I think I said this last time, and I'll repeat myself. I think that good companies, the launch doesn't matter that much, frankly. Good stuff will do well over a long enough time frame. But the reality is that we want to make sure that our tokens get into the best users, the longest term aligned people. We're going to do a lot of work and work our ass off to get that done. But it's going to take some experimentation. Like, at some point, inevitably, I'll probably come on here and be like, that was a fucking disaster. Like, it's like we tried. That strategy didn't work, but we're very creative. I know Meteor has been really good to us, but we've been asking them for all kinds of crazy shit. My mind is always spinning on these things. So, yes, definitely incentives, definitely a SOAR token. Want to get it to our biggest users, our best users. Take that for what it is. I think you can put the math together.
How do you plan on really helping education? I feel like people don't realize the CPT token, and someone asked in the chat, how much percent is circulating for CPT? 6%. That's what I'm saying. I don't think a lot of people know really what's going on here. I think education is going to be a big thing. How do you push education, help people understand that, no, this isn't 16.3 million market cap. It's FDV is 16.3 mil, but the market cap's actually more like 1 mil.
Correct.
How do you get that message across?
It's going to take some time. Like, I think that's the most important thing. Like, we all have a tendency not to read, frankly. We've written some really good docs on how everything works, but it's going to take some time. Being on is always a pleasure here because I can try to get the message across. But yeah, it's really a ton of work. We're trying to educate people. That's why I'm in ICM lab all the time, telling people, like, no, these tokens are not unlocking in 3 months and you're going to get fucked, right? Like, sure, they can pull tokens, but you're notified beforehand. All of those things just take repeating myself a lot of times over again, like I said, and I love going on platforms like this because I can talk about it and explain how it works. So appreciate always having me on.
Absolutely. Really quick, and if you need to go, like
let's keep going.
Wrap this. I do have a question around the comms plan from this point forward. What holders should expect from the company CPT Impulsor. Yeah.
Yep. Totally. So if you didn't gather from their video, they're pretty web too. But they've been working with us for 2 months. They have a whole content strategy. We worked with them directly on that. They have some other stuff that I won't reveal right now, but they are planning a bunch of stuff coming out. And it'll be, like any good platform, right? They're going to slow trickle some stuff and things like that, but they might also have some stuff earlier on. We're working on a full content strategy. The comms will be very good. I promise you that. They're our first curated launch. I'm going to do everything in my damnedest to make sure that people know what they're getting into, that the team is real, that they're going to keep talking to you. All of those things have been thought about for so long. This is our job. Communication is one of our biggest moats, right? Like, I think that our edge right now is that I come on the show a lot. I try to, whenever you invite me. I try to communicate with people all over the place. That's not going to stop. That's one of the ways that we broadcast our message, educate people, bring new people onto the platform for the first time. Like, it's free marketing. Like, why would we not do all of this stuff? Like, if you don't think we're going to communicate, like, you don't know us too well. It's the first step in marketing.
How does ICM.run play into this? Obviously, you guys have a good relationship with that team. Is any supply from the CPT launch going to go to their DAO? Are they going to help education? Any conversation there?
Quite a thorough conversation. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to reveal on that. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
You just leak it all. Mercy will be okay.
Mercy might shoot me. I don't know.
Yeah, he might. He's from Philly, right?
No, we've had a lot of conversations. They're working with multiple of our projects. They're amazing, mind you. Like, absolutely crush it. They make our lives a lot easier because we only have such a big team. Like, we have 15 people, but a lot of them are developers. So they take a lot of load off our plate.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of your biggest things, right? If you guys can put full focus towards token model, platform, incubating launches, etc., you can really offload a lot of that extraneous work to, educational work to ICM.run, the community, MCG, people that are going to educate. And I think that's just a big unlock. So, okay, had to ask. We're coming in on 4 hours. We're 4 hours and 15 minutes into the stream.
You guys are grinders, bro. I don't know how
10,000 twice this week. We've eclipsed CoinDesk.
Yeah, I gotta love it. But I don't know. Any closing thoughts? I don't want to keep this too long, guys. What are you thinking? Chill, Josh, Tom, anything?
Yeah, I think this is a good area to wrap. I think we answered. I mean, we looked at this at
dark mode.
Needed dark mode. Yeah.
Oh no,
yeah.
I like light mode. Everyone knows me.
Ignore Josh. Don't pay attention to what. Wait.
Imagine that, OJ. They don't even know who Patrick Twang is.
The homie who Patrick is as we speak, and he even put a link to his LinkedIn, and he's like, "This is him. He's cracked." That's what he's saying in the chat. Appreciate the
Satoshi Seeker. It's a farm, Tom. How do you feel about that? Seems this whole thing is a farm.
Man, that's a complex farm, bro.
Wait,
honestly.
Satoshi Seeker.
Man, this guy. Glad we have
guy. I think.
No, I mean, listen.
No, I don't.
There's always going to be people that have their thoughts. I welcome them to do so. Please, like, I would not be up here with my face on it. I think in the background right there, you can see my law license. That's my degree right there from Clemson. We're not hiding. Like I said, I'm an attorney. I'm licensed. If you think this is a farm, it's just not, frankly. We put so much time and effort into this platform. There's some really big players working with us. You'll probably see some posts about it soon. We wouldn't get there if we had any bad intentions, frankly. These people are very good about sniffing out bullshit. No, it's just not.
Satoshi, go ahead. Just buy some more meme coins, though.
Yeah,
keep
paying the meme promoters on Dex Screener.
Wait, real quick. Last thing before we wrap. I see this thing. This is floating around in the comments. We might as well just try to address it here. Thomek, Tom, can you explain the team allocation selling? pretty sure there's no one selling anything, as we just talked about all the tokenomics.
But feel free to speak on that, Tom.
Yeah, feel free to speak on that, just in case.
Totally happy to do so. So the float is 6%, right? There was a very, I can't share their name because I think that would be improper. But the reality is that for a curated launch of this size, our first launch on the platform, you need a market maker. So we do have a market maker working. They have not only have tokens, but they also have stables that were provided from the Impulsor team. I'll leave it at that. I don't know what they're doing. I'm not looking at the chart, but the reality is that we have a license. Like I said, once again, I'm an attorney. Like, we have a license in the U.S. market maker working with us. Any good launch is going to have a market maker part of the game. Full transparency. That's all you need to know about it.
Got it. Well, no, we appreciate the transparency. I think it's just good for everyone to
No, it is. I don't want to get too much into it because I know I might get yelled at the end of the day from back channels.
No, you like, gave enough.
All of our launches will most likely have some form of market making. It's good for stability. It's good for charts. It's not a farm like people say. Like, I don't need to get into all of that, but like I said, I'm here and I'm talking. You know why?
Yep. Sounds good. No, we appreciate you. Again, just MCG, you guys are getting like all the freaking alpha. So hopefully you guys
always,
with that.
And we also were part of the sale just like everyone else. So Dom's fills were not good. My fills were.
You guys can probably see I have this public profile. I only had it loaded up with a little bit of money, but my fills are ass, guys, on the public profile.
So we're along with the chat here, guys.
This is awesome, though. This, I mean, in my mind, this goes so much higher. I'm excited for you guys to drop some more info. Yeah. I just think people don't realize. So
they just don't get the market cap yet, which is okay. They'll figure it out.
Figure it out, yeah.
And listen, the chart looks good. I think that if you wanted to get in, I think there's been some opportunities to make some money. We care deeply about traders. This isn't just trying to get as much money for our companies. So I'm very passionate about that. And we're gonna keep working. We have some sick stuff coming up. If you think this was our only good launch, you're misguided, frankly, or uneducated. We have a bunch of really cool shit.
Dude, wait, I want to buy the SOAR token. Where's the pre-sale? I want to get in now.
Yo, chill.
Yeah, no, we're working our ass off. Like I said, I'm going to be here. There are some bugs. Like I said, not everything went perfect. I'm not even trying to sell you on that. There's a whole bunch of stuff on the website that I want to fix. And you know what? Like, the do it live scenario is like very important because you can do all this stuff 50 times in staging, and then it goes live and you're like, what the fuck? How did I miss that? So
yeah. And credit to you, you were on MCG the whole time. Like, guys, we live streamed this the whole time. This was completely transparent to everyone.
Yeah,
the founders were on live. Like, that's
like, none of us knew when the launch was gonna happen. Like, literally happened when you guys came on, and I'm just, like, we're all scrambling trying to keep up with the interview,
bro,
trying to slam buys in there, and you're trying to fix bugs.
I guess maybe future plans to go on MCG. Let's get the launch before, because I'm like, I'm like trying to focus on Patrick and give a good interview, but man,
I'm like toggling people on stage while trying to place buys. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah,
and I apologize. Like I said, if the buying situation wasn't ideal, we need to improve that. Frankly,
there you go.
That'll all be worked on. Like I said, launch mechanics will definitely change. But yeah, no, I appreciate it, guys. It was I wouldn't say it wasn't stressful.
It was fun though. Good stress. Hey, launch day is always a mix of emotions, excitement. We've seen it so many times on this channel here, I guess. But here's another one down in the history books.
This is we were here probably for like the tipping point in capital markets in general in history.
You guys are the pioneers, bro.
Literally. I'm ready to hand this off to you. Hey, in a month, about 35 days, we'll be in Abu Dhabi, Tom. And if SOAR has earned it, guys, I will crown him the king.
We got a long way to go.
Otherwise, I'll just punch him in the face.
Last thing from me, real.
I'll film it. I'll be like,
Last thing from me. We are super open. My DMs are open on like every platform.
Yeah.
Don't send me any fucking links, please. I really don't like links. I know like people are always trying to get me on trainers. Bullshit. Happy to chat. You got a gripe? Please talk to me. We're super transparent. Like, communication is the biggest thing in my book. All of our team is really active on comms. Love talking to y'all. And like I said, if you got something that you love, don't love, something that's bugging, just tell me. Like, we'll fix it. Easy.
And follow Dom on SOAR. DOM. Let's flip Tom.
Yo,
Mass unfollow Tom.
yeah.
I got to put a bounty and have people unfollow you.
Yeah, dude.
Unfollow
guys.
down, get extra airdrop.
Yeah.
Adds to your score.
All right, Tom. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. As always, it's a pleasure.
Appreciate your time. Talk soon.
Tom.
Be good. Bye.